Zip Sunday Pour live on YouTube Thursday night, right after trade deadline, a very active trade deadline. Wild, actually, kind of wild, right? I mean, that was kind of a crazy trade deadline, right? I was tuned in from afar on vacation, but I think it was crazy. Am I wrong, or am I overreacting to it?
I was refreshing Twitter here and there.
Yeah, all right.
There's a lot. Yeah, it was pretty active. Yeah, football back tonight. Trade deadline. There's a
Yeah,
lot
Hall
going
of
on
Fame
for
game.
August.
Yes, yeah. Or it's kind of you're getting one foot in front of the other, and pretty soon we're going to have preseason games every weekend. And then before you know it, it's Labor Day and opening weekend for football, opening Thursday night for football. Monday night shows are back for Sunday Pour. And that's it. We're just going to be Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Super Bowl. That's it.
That's it.
We're almost
Holiday
there.
season. And I'll give the Jaguars credit. They managed to misspell not one but two legendary last names. Tony Baselli, the offensive lineman, who
You send the picture over, yeah.
going into the Hall of Fame. They misspelled his last name, and they managed to misspell Tony Maselli's last name. I think they left an L out. But that's Jacksonville. So shout out to that. It's preseason for everybody, even the video board guy.
Well, some would say they are in regular season form.
You could say they're hitting their stride. It may as well be Thanksgiving in Jacksonville.
yeah, looking good. You want to go down the trade? You want to go down these trades real quick? Do you want to start just to go over like the main teams here? I got like the rankings here from the Athletic. You don't have to go through every team, but obviously we'll start with the Yanks and kind of go from there.
Yeah.
All right. Yanks. We saw they got Benintendi. We were here when they got Benintendi. Then they turned around. They got Frankie Montas and Lou Trevino. Scott Effross from the Cubs. Surprising one was Jordan Montgomery going to the Cardinals for Harrison Bader. And we sent Joey Gallo to the dregs of Los Angeles. Fight for his life over there.
He's now homeless.
He is not homeless. Not yet. But how surprised were you by the Jordan Montgomery move? That probably takes away your Severino hopes, right? That probably means they got a little faith in Sevy.
So
you had said to recap, you had said last week that Severino would be a good fit in the pen. I kind of agree with you. Be a good spot for him. Kind of just unload.
No, they're gonna bring him back September 15th, and then he'll be all ramped up 2 starts, and then he'll be good for the playoffs. Piece of cake.
Yeah, of course, piece of cake.
So all right, so the Yanks. So as soon as it looked like they were having this big season, which they still are, we'll get to how they're playing, but they're still having a big season, best record in the AL. I said, all right, you're going to go for it, obviously. It's the Yankees. You go for it when you're in this position. I said starting pitcher, relief pitcher, outfield. All 3. Like, it's just like I looked at the team, even when things were going well, I was like, we need all 3. So outfield, Benintendi, check. Get rid of Gallo. That was like no-brainer.
Right.
Relief pitcher, they bring in the guy from the Cubs, and who was terrified the other night. He was shitting his pants on the mound. He almost gave him the warning track power from Winker, that dude, and that he was sweating. He made Chapman look dry. But still, I mean, it was fine. And then Lou Trevino, they bring in, who's like, you're kind of like buying low on him because he's not having a good year. All right, that's fine, And then the starting pitcher, all right, now I'm greedy. They've gotten, the reliever. They've gotten the outfield. I wanted Castillo. We don't get Castillo. I guess Volpe. They wanted Volpe. Cashman's determined to hang on to Volpe. We get Frankie Montas in the who was the next best pitcher once Castillo was off the block.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
So, all right, we add Montas.
they don't go out and get the best available outfielder. They don't go out and get the best available pitcher. Does that bother you?
Outfield, no, because I think Benintendi's fine, even though he's been terrible so far. Pitcher, yes, because I think starting pitching is their glaring weakness, and I think that was where they needed to go out and be the Yankees and bring in Luis Castillo. Period. Montas, we'll see. I don't. It's he's an Oakland A until further notice.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly.
It's hard for me to evaluate a guy who he's been with Oakland now maybe 3 or 4 years. He pitched in the postseason. It wasn't even the real postseason. He pitched in the fake postseason. He got shelled by Houston. Hard for me to evaluate Frankie Montas right now.
What makes Cashman think that after all the prospects that he's gone through, and you went over them at the end of last season, all the prospects he did not develop that have fallen flat in their faces in the big leagues, what makes him think that Volpe is the one guy that's going to actually do it? Like, wouldn't you after a while be like, "Fuck, maybe I'm not that good at this. Maybe I should use these guys who have a name and then trade them away." I mean, like Clint Frazier's he's not starting for the Cubs. I know that much. On top of that, so we got Andujar, who's a yo-yo from AAA to bigs whenever they need an inning or two out of him. And you can do it more eloquently than I can, going over each prospect that has failed in the past. But I mean, it's guy after guy has sucked. Why does he think Volpe, especially this year of all years, the year that they have maybe the best chance, maybe the best chance for a while, depending on what the Judge situation is and just how everybody's been playing this year and the health-wise, doesn't happen all the time. Maybe their best chance to win the whole thing is that. Why does he have the need to hold on to Volpe? He's got to prove somebody besides you that he can actually pick a prospect and develop a prospect.
They are very attached to Volpe. I mean, the pressure that this guy is going to have when he finally gets called up, whether that's next year. I mean, he's in Double-A right now. I don't even think he's in Triple-A yet.
Yeah, I think Peraza's in Triple-A and Volpe's in Double-A. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what their plan is. They seem determined to hang on to Volpe. Peraza was a guy I thought they would move to try and bring in a big starter. They ended up hanging on to him. At this point, I kind of want to see Peraza play just because I haven't loved IKF's shortstop. He's fine at the plate. He's fine at the plate. He just scares the crap out of me. Even if you bring Peraza up to be like a defensive replacement, I mean, I don't know, but
I guess Peraza's on fire right now too.
Yeah, he's playing well. He's playing well. I don't know. They it seems like that's why Castillo was definitely why Soto. I mean, Soto you would have had to give Washington everybody. And I guess Castillo, that's what held it up too, was Volpe. I don't know. Castillo was the guy I would have tried to. I wouldn't have offered up Volpe. It would have been how I led the negotiation, but I don't know if he would have made or broke the deal. I think I would have went for it with Castillo because you have him for next year. He's a guy that you hope you could sign long term. He's still young, and he's an ace in Cincinnati, which makes him maybe more of a number 2 here. But the state of the pitching staff, if you did bring him here, he'd probably be the ace right now. So
he did outduel the ace yesterday pretty handily. So
right, that was very there was some symmetry, parallel, whatever you want to call it. There was something there. That made you a little sick yesterday.
Did not feel good. Yeah, that first inning was.
And it gives Seattle. Seattle's one of those teams that I feel like Seattle kind of died when the Kingdome blew up. They had good seasons in Safeco, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Like going to play in the Kingdom was terrifying. Safeco Field was always Like they haven't been to the postseason in 20 years. 01, that 116 win team.
Yeah.
So Seattle's been a team for 20 years. I've always looked at it as just like, all right, you have a good year here and there, but you're Seattle. Castillo actually gives them like instant credibility now, and he makes them dangerous in a short series.
It gives you a reason to fear him. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right about the Kingdom being a scary place to play. He's a scary guy to have to face if he's on the mound.
Yeah,
doesn't quite have the same effect as that building feel like it was going to fall down on top of you if the crowd got any louder. But still, they showed you what you could do with the Yankees lineup, although it wasn't a complete Yankees lineup yesterday. Showed you what he can do. How do you feel about the Bader thing? Is hopefully that the end of Tim LaCastro in pinstripes? Please.
Well, so when this trade came down, this was like right at the deadline. This was 10 minutes to 6. I don't even know what time. Was it 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock? Whatever it was. It was last minute. Yeah. I thought the Yanks were done. I thought we were done. Like that was it. All right, we got our starting pitcher, reliever, and outfielder. Wasn't exactly the guys I wanted, but okay, they made additions. So when this news broke, my instant reaction was I don't like it. But then I tried.
You've always kind of liked Montgomery.
Yes, I think Montgomery. I mean, I soured on him a little bit this year because you just see like he's never going to actually take the next step to be like a 2 or 3. But to me, he was an innings eater, perfect like 4 or 5 guy. He could be your game 4 starter in a playoff series. I don't think you want him starting anything higher than that. But like I tried to be open-minded Yankee fan, like don't be like 10 years old and be attached to Jordan Montgomery. Like, let's see, let's see. Like, you know what I mean? He's been here a while now. It's not like you've won anything with him. Like, okay. Then I read that Harrison Bader has plantar fasciitis and he's in a walking boot and he's not going to be ready until maybe September. And I literally sat there on my couch and had like a mini panic attack. I got really quiet and I was like, why? Like, it was like all the bad feelings of the past Yankee teams that haven't gotten it done. Like, started like, it was just overwhelming me. It was like ginger ale in my brain. I was like, I don't like. What do you mean? Like, why would you get rid of like a team that gets rid of a guy in their rotation, right? You would think, right? You're an alien that just landed, right? And you're learning the game of baseball, and this team just traded a member of their rotation. You're gonna be like, oh, well, they must have an embarrassment of riches over there in their rotation. Like, if they're trading this guy who's got, not a great pitcher, but 3.5, 3.6 ERA, whatever he had.
Healthy.
Always healthy. Yeah, very durable, very healthy, innings eater. Yep. Like even the other night against the Mets, was that his last start against the Mets? It was maybe second to last start. Like he gave up a bunch of runs early on. It's not the Mets game. Mets game he got yanked early. There was a game in there somewhere where he had a bad first inning and he ended up going like 6. Which we call the Garrett Cole now. So like he was a guy who, and like I'm not a Jameson Taillon guy. Like if you had asked me let's like at 5:50 at the deadline, right, when it looked like we were done, and it was Montas, Cole, Nestor, like those are your top 3 guys, whatever order they're going to go in. Those are your top 3 guys. If you had asked me who the Game 4 starter was, I would have said Monty, not very confidently, like, we need Monty in Game 4. But he's the guy, because Taillon I don't trust. Severino, I'll believe it when I see it. They're jerking him around. They're not even letting him pitch, even though it feels fine. Herman, I mean, he was very misleading 5 innings, 2 runs the other night. He was not good. So it would have been Montgomery. Now you're back in a position where I don't know who's pitching in a Game 4, and you didn't really make an addition to your starting rotation. It's a replacement.
Yeah.
Like, to me now, there's so much pressure on Montas to pitch well, and part of that's Cole's fault. We'll get to him. Part of that's Cole's fault. But, like, all right, there's an innings limit with Nestor, right? They're going to try and soften, his load up. Like, you're bringing Montas in, like, this guy. Like, oh, by the way, Frankie, we don't have an ace on this team, so it would be awesome if you just carried us to a championship, just 7 innings, 2 runs every night. Like, this guy was supposed to be brought in to be, like, kind of a 3-starter, and now we're asking him to be a borderline ace, which I don't have confidence in. I will get back to the Montgomery. I don't understand it. Yeah. Like, it's almost like a move that you make. Like, are we making moves to win this year, or are we making moves to win in 2023 and 2024? Because that's what trading for a guy in a walking boot tells me. That's what holding on to Volpe and Peraza and all these guys tells me, is that you're not all in this year. Still have a good team.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's probably puts – I don't think they've really increased their odds to win. I think they've maybe kept them the same, kept the odds even.
Gallo's addition by subtraction, and I do think Benintendi will hit. He's got 1 hit. It was an infield single. Like, 2 moments Benintendi's had so far. Infield single in the middle of a rally the other night when they came back, and he had like a sac fly that was only a sac fly because the left fielder had to die for it. And like the bar has been set so low by Joey Gallo that like I thought those were 2 incredible at bats. It's like he made contact. He made contact. He's already equaled Joey Gallo's sac fly career total. He's been here a week.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And he's like 1 for 20 with 10 strikeouts. So
I think Benintendi will be all right. Yeah, I'm not too concerned about him. Yeah. I had one more thing to say. I lost it. You got anything else in the Yanks?
I did have like a little panic attack when we traded Montgomery for Bader. And then the starter didn't come. I was like, oh, so they're just going to add like this guy Lopez from the Marlins, Rodon from the Giants, who are 2 guys that I really wasn't even crazy about.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, even Rodon would have been nice, yeah. Comparatively. Frozen pizza. And he's back.
All right, back. Where was I going with that? I was mid-sentence and I lost it.
You're saying like maybe get Lopez or Rodon. I think it kind of I think it really just it shows their faith, I guess, in Herman and Severino, really. And Herman maybe has a chance to rebound, kind of if you kind of just keep him pitching, get him back in the swing of things. He does have a decent ceiling. He's never. He had that one season where it was really good, and he could, if he comes back to form, that's probably what they're looking for. That's the thing with like Cashman and Boone. Like they're always talking about the things these guys previously did.
Yeah.
And then it's like October, and like, well, they used to do it. Well, they're not doing it when it fucking matters the most. They had this excuse built in, like, well, he hit 60 home runs or whatever. Like, well, fuck him, man. He fucking went 2 for 20 last week when it really mattered. I don't really care if he hit 60 home runs ever. Doesn't matter to me. And same thing with these guys. Well, if these guys live up to their expectations, then they should perform. Like, well, motherfucker, maybe you didn't get the right guys in there. Well, motherfucker, maybe you didn't put them in the right position to succeed. Like, let's start placing the blame on the people that are making the team and not necessarily maybe they just got the wrong guys for that team at that moment, and that's as good as they were going to be, and it's your fault for not picking the right guys.
Yeah,
so they have that built-in excuse that just always says like, well, they didn't live up to our expectations over that, basically, and they constantly throw players under the bus when it's a time like this. Well, let's look back. Well, Soto was available. You can't throw Soto under the bus. Castillo was available, and and you end up getting Frankie Montas. You got an Oakland A. So, maybe it's a matter of maybe you need to up your players' ceilings, up the quality of your players, and not try and put them in positions to succeed that they can't succeed in.
Yeah, I think, and the problem is it's August right now. So we got 2 months left, and we shouldn't be using the words like ceiling and if. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like this is it's
Yeah.
we should be hitting our stride. Like, you know, we should be figuring out how to win. Herman is, you know, yes, his ceiling's high, but I mean, I don't know. Like, we haven't seen it. And like Severino, I think they're putting all their chips in Severino as their 4th starter, which is,
Yeah.
I mean, they're all right. They're going to stretch him out in the minor league. So it's not like he's going to come out September 15th and be ice cold. He's going to be stretched out. But man, those are 2 different things. Pitching, you know, low leverage minor league 5-inning starts to, all right, September baseball. And now you're like 2 starts and then you're in the postseason. A guy who hasn't been a good postseason starter.
But it's like the classic Yankee mentality. Like if he lives up to expectations, but again, you got to prep them the right way. You got to get them ready. These are human beings. These guys aren't the back of their baseball cards. These guys aren't like the best possible versions of themselves constantly all the time. This is who they are this year. You know what I mean? You have to get the best out of them this year, and that sounds like a recipe for disaster. Just kind of easing them back in, counting on them seems like a recipe for disaster, and not having a plan A that doesn't include him as number 3 or 4 starter.
Yeah, and just to be fair, like that, I'm not just the president of the Montgomery fan club. If they had made this move for Bader and they traded away Tyon, I wouldn't have loved it because I think they need all the arms they can get. Like, to me, once you made the trade for Montas, like I said, 1, 2, 3, you had your 3 starters. The rest of the season was an audition for Game 4 between Severino, Tyon, Montgomery, Clark Schmidt. They're going to stretch him out. Maybe Clark Schmidt. Like, it was all hands on deck. I just don't think they should have. It's just a weird fucking move to trade for a guy who's like a 4th out. You don't trade a rotation guy for a 4th outfielder ever.
Unless they just didn't like what they saw in Montgomery. Maybe like you said, didn't take a next step. Maybe they were afraid he was going to, you know, regress as it got closer to the end of the season into the playoffs.
Okay, but I'll tell you what this move tells me. This is the part that really bothers me to my core the most. They're telling you, so before the trade was made at $550, right? We thought we were done.
Yep.
Thought we were set. Okay. Are they a better team right now? Not a month from now, not in October. Are they a better team with Montgomery and St. Louis and Bader on the bench not playing?
No.
Impossible.
No.
Right.
Yeah, it's impossible. Yeah.
So what they're telling you basically is these next 6 weeks, August and into September, aren't that important. They're telling you the division's over, and they're telling you that holding off the Astros isn't that important. They're telling you the regular season isn't that important because Montgomery wasn't in our postseason plans. So what's the big deal? Like, he was just going to pitch regular season games in August, September. Well, those games do matter if you want to have the best record in the American League or in baseball and have home field. Yeah. So they're kind of punting on the regular season and just telling you, all right, we got to shape this team for October, which you do have to do to an extent, but you can't make your team worse in August, and like you can't look that far ahead.
Is Bader strictly an outfielder? He played corner positions too.
All I've heard about this guy is that he's an unbelievable center fielder. Unbelievable, like one of the best defensive center fielders in baseball.
I mean, again, like we have the best center fielder in baseball. I want to hear about it. I don't know why you're looking for a fucking center fielder.
I mean, it could positive spin when Bader's healthy. It could spell Hicks like not even being on a postseason roster.
Yeah. Well, yeah. By then, Hicks would be 0 for I don't know how many in a row would be at that point.
Right. And the Blue Jays will be 2 games back by then. By the time Bader's ready to come back. So I just don't. I don't like the message that it sends. Like, I don't know. I've heard people floating around at Montgomery because he was a little testy with Boone. To me, that was nothing. That was Montgomery just being a competitor, and that was Boone making that was probably the right decision taking him out because he stunk that night. Like,
Yeah.
and then did you see the interview where the guy had the phone in his face and Montgomery told him to back up?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, so everyone's trying to point at things like now, like Montgomery. It's just typical. I'm starting to. There's, you know who's a weenie? You know who's a weenie?
Sweeney Marty.
Yes, he's on my list. He wasn't at the top though. Jack Curry.
Not a Jack Curry guy.
Just the more you know what it is. Brian Cashman is so Teflon with like the media. Like he's got like his cronies, man. And I don't know if they're on the payroll or not, or maybe they're just fearful of like losing their jobs. But like everything he does, it's just like, oh, Brian Cashman. Like if someone else had made this deal, I don't think it would be as well received as it is right now. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. It doesn't really make sense. And
I hear you.
Jack Curry is he's such a vanilla little dweeb.
Yeah. That's what he is. He's just what's the word I'm looking for? Not a shill, but he's a talking head with like a built-in script. I mean, he doesn't know what he's going to say, but you know what he's going to say.
Right. He's reading off a make-believe teleprompter.
Right. Yeah. That's fair.
I don't like Jack Curry. It's on my list.
I think Sweeney Marty's worse, but that's my stance.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. No one's willing to like whatever. Cashman he's Teflon. He's untouchable. No point in ranting about it.
All right. We can zoom through a couple of these. The Jays. We'll stick in the AL East for now. The Jays picked up Whit Merrifield. They got some bullpen, Anthony Bass, Zach Pop. And they got Mitch White as a season starter. Mitch White.
Yeah, I mean, Whit Merrifield's a nice move if he gets vaccinated. We'll see.
He did. He did.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he's getting vaccinated. Yeah. Yep.
Man.
He's all vaxxed.
Everyone's got their motives, you know. Some people they read, internet conspiracies. It's gonna make you fertile. Some guys just do it to get out of Kansas City, not get vaccinated.
It works. That always works. Yeah, I wouldn't get vaccinated if it meant I had to play for the Royals.
Right? I have a better chance to get traded from the Royals. Fuck that. I'll wait it out.
The Rays, I don't go over the Rays. The Rays got David Peralta, Diamondbacks.
Yeah, the Rays are going to probably be in the playoffs. They'll be like a 5-6. They'll be in there.
The Orioles traded Trey Mancini. We'll get to that when we get to the Astros. Jorge Lopez, we'll get to that when we get to the Twins. That's nothing to do with them. Red Sox, they got Eric Hosmer. Oh, the Hosmer thing, they got Tommy Pham. And they got rid of Christian Vasquez. Eric Hosmer, he almost held up the Soto trade, but they had a backup plan. And they gave up our old friend. Instead. Fuck. It's blanked on his name.
Who?
No button. First baseman.
I blacked out. What were we talking about? Hosmer. I know Hosmer.
Yeah, didn't they trade oh, for fuck's sake, man. Still gonna get his name. The old Yankee first baseman. No. Didn't San Diego send the other first baseman? Voit, thank you. Yeah. I was thinking an Italian name. I just had, because of the button undone, I had it stuck in my head an Italian name, which that one Voit obviously is not. But I couldn't get past that in my brain. Thank you.
Yeah, Red Sox. They had a weird deadline. They got rid of Vasquez, which made you think they were selling.
Yep.
And I was thrilled when I heard Vasquez was gone. Then I heard he was in Houston, and I was like, "Fuck," because he's a pain in the ass, Vasquez. So they get rid of Vasquez, but then they don't move Devers, which would have been idiotic. They don't move Bogarts, which I thought they might do. Now he might walk in free agency. Then they bring in Pham and Hosmer. I think Hosmer is a great addition. I wanted Hosmer as my backup before I knew Rizzo was available last year at the deadline. Like I wanted the Yankees to bring in Hosmer. Right? He's a winning player.
Oh yeah.
I mean, any Red Sox fan who doesn't like that move, fucking Frenchie Cordero and Bobby Dahlbeck, fucking platoon. Are you kidding me? Winning player.
I know. Yeah.
Hosmer.
Yeah. No, I know you. I know your guy was a big Bobby Dahlbeck fan. He might be disappointed.
Bobby Dahlbeck is just one of those like, I'm sorry, just retard Boston guys who like they worship. Like they worship for no reason. Just a dumb fucking name, and they just like saying it. You know what I mean? He's gonna run into one like 8 times a year. What's he got? 10 home runs. He's just Bobby Dahlbeck. You're a fucking idiot if you're a Red Sox fan. You like Bobby Dahlbeck. Complete moron.
All right, the Twins made some moves. They got a closer in Jorge Lopez. They got Tyler Mahle from the Reds, flamethrower. And they got Michael Fulmer. They got Michael Fulmer from the Tigers and Sandy Leon from the Guardians. And really solidifying their bullpen and another arm of that pitching staff. Not a bad deadline for the Twins.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of the Twins. They just feel like they're a little. There's a few things I like about them, like Correa gives them a little toughness. Gio's been getting big hits, but I don't know. So I guess someone's got to win that division. It should be the White Sox, but they can't get over 500. Cleveland. I don't know. The Twins are like, I got to see them do it.
Of course, yeah. Nice, but they got a closer though, which they needed, and it's kind of some reinforcements there. Guardians, we don't need to go over them. White Sox, we don't need to go over them. Tigers, we don't need to go over them.
No.
The Royals, we don't need to go over them. The West, easy. Astros had a pretty good deadline. They got Trey Mancini from the Orioles, who I like Trey Mancini a lot, but now I'm going to hate him forever. They got Vasquez from the Red Sox as well. And of course, Martin Maldonado went yard tonight, who was a great catcher, not a big-time hitter.
Great, yes, exactly. Great catcher, horrendous, under 200 hitter.
But went yard tonight. They got Will Smith from the Braves.
Okay, yeah, I mean Houston
solid.
They're solid. They're they're going to be tough if the Yankees got a plan. They're a tough team to beat.
Verlander. Trey Mancini's like, I love that guy. He hits, man, and he's a tough out. As a great addition to any lineup. That's tough. You're right. Vasquez fucking drove us nuts in Boston. He's not gonna take it easy on us.
Yeah, he'll be perfect. He'll be perfect for Houston for sure.
The Mariners went out, got Luis Castillo, as we mentioned before.
Big move. Yep, and they have him for next year, so they could, not a rental.
Yep. Rangers, we don't need to touch on. The Angels, we don't need to touch on.
Mess.
Oakland A's, we touched on them already. Everybody Well, we'll find out if anybody that they can trade away in a couple of years to somebody else. All right, the Mets got Darren Ruff for J.D. Davis. Daniel Vogelbach, we knew earlier. They got Tyler Naquin. The outfielder, and they also got Michael Givens from the Cubs. And
I thought the Mets would have had a little bit better of a deadline,
Yeah, not
I
a big,
thought like
no big splashes. No big. Splashes.
I would have brought in Robertson if I was them. I would have brought in like a big time reliever behind. I mean, Robertson, we know his shortcomings, but like he would have been a good guy to bring in behind what's his face, Edwin, because Ottavino got some big outs tonight, but like you're not going to count on Ottavino. Seth Lugo hasn't been good. I do think if DeGrom comes back and is DeGrom, I think they're better than the Dodgers.
The Dodgers lineup is so good.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It always comes down to pitching.
Yeah, I hear you, but it's still tough for me to say that they're better than the Dodgers with
in a series, in a best of 7.
No, I'd consider betting on the Mets with Scherzer and DeGrom against anybody in the playoffs, but it's just tough. Up and down the lineup, Dodgers are very good, and now they got to play for Vince Scully, so they got that in their corner.
Right. We have yet to see the Dodgers win a World Series with fans in the stands.
Yeah, or a regular entire season behind them.
Right. That is one thing they have going against them.
Yes, history.
And I think the Mets are going to put away the Braves this weekend.
Wow.
From the division. I mean, the Braves are going to be in the playoffs. They let everyone in.
No, I know.
But I think they put them. I think they put them away. Division's over Sunday night.
Okay. All right. Braves one got Raisel Iglesias. They got Robbie Grossman. They got Jake Odorizzi. Yeah, they got Jake Odorizzi. Yep.
That makes sense when you trade a rotation guy out of Houston because they have pitching.
That's really it. They didn't do anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been out on the
Braves
for a few years now. They won the World Series. They almost went to the World Series in 2020. So maybe I'm the wrong guy. I don't think the Braves are great, but they'll probably be in that 4-5 matchup against San Diego, which is that's a pretty good 4-5 if it's those two teams. Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I think they're going to be out of the division by Sunday, but I mean, they're good. They'll be in the playoffs.
Phillies went out and got Noah Syndergaard from the Angels. Brandon Marsh from the Angels as well. David Robertson from the Cubs. That's good. They're kind of going for it, and they're going to get Harper back beginning of September. They're making a push, at least on paper.
Yeah, I think I'm out.
Did Syndergaard get beat tonight? I know it was tight. I don't know if he got beat though.
Oh, was he pitching tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why you would bring in Noah Syndergaard. I'm not a Noah Syndergaard guy. They're up.
That's got to drive Mets. That's got to drive Mets fans nuts just seeing him in a Phillies uniform, and they were in like old school Phillies uniforms tonight. It's got to drive them bananas.
I mean, he pitched 5 innings, gave up 11 hits, 4 runs.
Sounds about right.
2 strikeouts.
Good debut.
I'm out.
Good debut.
The Phillies are they're like a collection of talent, but it just doesn't trying to jam a square peg through a round hole. It doesn't fit the Phillies.
Yeah.
Syndergaard and Robertson's gonna. I don't want to be anti-Dave Robertson, but he's gonna blow some games in September. He just is. He's gonna give up some long balls. So I'm out on the Phillies. I think the 6th team is gonna come from the Central.
Fair enough. The Marlins, we don't need to go over the Marlins. The Nationals, we don't need to go over the Nationals. We'll get to them eventually.
They're making the 97 Marlins fire sale look like it was a fucking flea market. I mean, everyone's gone, man. Crazy.
The Brewers, interesting move getting rid of Hader. Not yet coming. But they got Rogers, the Nelson Lamet, and a couple other players
What's the deal with Hader? Is he a free agent after this year? What is?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Is that the contract situation?
I don't know. I haven't looked into it. I mean, could argue he's the best closer in baseball, or at least has been over the last few years, like most consistent over the last 3-4 years.
Yeah, it's filthy.
I don't know how you. I don't know how you trade him. You're in first place and you trade him. It doesn't make sense to me. I'd have a fit.
Sorry, I changed my headphones because this one was going low, and then it silenced you for a second. I missed something.
Okay, those sound better for what it's worth.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, good to know. All right, we'll stay away from the other ones then from now on. All right. Well, I'm sure what you said summed up the Brewer situation perfectly.
All I said was doesn't make sense. First place, trade your closer. Doesn't make sense.
Well, they loaded up a little bit, right? They got another pitcher. They got a little bit of a haul for him, and got a closer. And they like Devin Williams, so that might be something to do with it. Cardinals. Yep, Cardinals went out. They got Jose Quintana, Chris Stratton from the Pirates. Of course, they got Jordan Montgomery. And they got a catcher from the A's, Austin Allen.
I think they'll be the 6th team, and they could win the division. Just because
the Cardinals are always like a pain in the ass.
What are the odds the Cardinals go further than the Yanks, and we're watching Montgomery pitch in the NLCS? Is it
excellent? Excellent odds.
Yeah, I mean Quintana. Like I didn't want anything to do with Quintana, but I guess they were desperate for pitching. The Cardinals. Yeah. I don't know if Flaherty's coming back. Wainwright is always a nice guy. Like it feels like he's been their ace for 10 years, even though he's not really an ace. Like he's just one of those gamer guys.
He finds a way. Yeah, he finds a way. He'll surprise you.
Yeah, I mean, they did what they had to do. Montgomery, Quintana, even though they're back of the rotation guys.
Yeah, but just with their team as it is, Goldie and Arenado, like they're.
Yeah, I don't even know who their other pitchers are. It's escaping me.
Miles Mikolas.
Oh yeah, he's okay. They have a lot of back of the rotation guys. So I think they'll be a 6th seed.
Yeah. Reds, we don't need to go over.
Nope.
You heard everybody. Cubs, we don't need to go over.
Well, Cubs, it was surprising they didn't get rid of Contreras or Happ. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy your draft pick.
Pirates. Dodgers, kind of getting Gallo, kind of a quiet break. Kind of a quiet deadline for them.
Yeah, I mean they're loaded. They're set.
Yeah,
and if they can't win with that team, I don't know what to tell you.
And the Padres, Juan Soto, Josh Bell, Hader, Drury.
Padres are going for it.
This is an all-in. Yeah, this is all in.
Tatis coming back.
Yeah, it's a sick lineup.
They're loaded. I mean, and the crazy part is they're going to be in the 4-5 matchup probably.
Yeah,
best of 3, first round. I think they're going to get beat though. The thing is though, because Soto's under control, like this isn't a case where like the window's closed at the end of the year. They'll be good for the next couple of years. I just think someone's going to beat them.
Yeah, you're probably right. The pitching, not probably right, but I mean the pitching is leaves a little bit to be desired.
Whenever I hear, maybe it's because I've been beaten around by the Yankees so much for years. But whenever you look at a lineup and everyone's like, there's just no holes in this lineup. It's like, how many Octobers do we have to see when big time lineups get shut down? Like the Mets could beat them, the Dodgers can beat them. I don't love the Braves, but Dodgers and Mets can beat them. My point.
Yep. Okay. I don't love Josh Bell. I don't think people make kind of big deal out of that. I don't think that's a gigantic.
He had a good year for the Pirates a few years back. I mean, that's not a big deal.
No.
And you're losing something for what it's worth defensively. With Bell, is he their first baseman now?
Yeah,
because Voigt's gone. Yeah, you're losing.
Yeah. Well,
or you could say he's an upgrade over Voigt, a
Yeah.
spin zone. If you're a Padre fan,
yeah.
he's not replacing Hosmer. He's replacing Voigt.
Giants we need to go over. Diamondbacks we don't need to go over. Rockies we don't need to go over. That's
Rockies.
pretty much
Chris Bryant's played 5 games this year.
it. Yeah, and not very well either.
No.
All right.
I will say one thing before we get into the Yanks on the field.
Yes.
I just watched most of episode 5 of the Jeter thing. They're murdering A-Rod in this documentary. He's getting dragged.
All right.
It's sunny at the toll booth, man. It's just
Is every talking head is going all in on him? Everybody's letting loose? Anybody surprise you with a comment?
No, I wouldn't say it's the talking heads necessarily, as just the way I guess you call it a film or a what do you call it? Documentary. Like the way the documentary is edited and the way like they are I don't know, putting together the story. Just it'd be the editing. It's the editing.
Okay.
It just does not. It doesn't portray him in a positive light.
Every story needs a villain.
He is. He's the villain. He's the villain. Let's say that. So very A-Rod heavy.
Before we get to the Yanks, I know you want to vent a little bit, I guess. Longest hitting streak in baseball right now is JD Martinez at 18.
Really? JD Martinez?
No. Sorry, this is the current. No, sorry. That's not the current streak. That is the.
I was going to say it's been terrible.
My mistake. That's not the current streak. That was the highest AL streak this year. The current streak is Stephen Kwan with 17 games.
Kwan, yes.
Yeah. And a couple of Vlad Jr. with 14, Anthony Santander with 14. And that's really it. Yelich with 12. So there you go. There's your update. No 20-somethings right now.
All right.
Frankie Montas on Sunday.
Yeah, Frankie. Jordan Montgomery tomorrow or Saturday. I think Saturday.
Is it all right?
Pitching against Herman. If that's not whatever the word is for it. Apropos.
Apropos? That's a good one.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, I'll start off positive.
Okay.
When you're winning, feels like you're never going to win again, right? And when you're losing, it feels like you're never going to win again. When you're winning, it feels like you're never going to lose again. Did I say that right? When you're losing, it feels like you're never going to win again. They're in a stretch where it feels like they're never going to win a crisp 8-2 baseball game ever again.
Yes, I hear you.
It's August. It's the dog days. It's not a straight line to a championship. However, it is hard to win a championship when you don't have an ace. We've ignored it for a little bit now because they were playing well. They have a few problems, I would say, but I think the biggest one is it's Cole. It's the elephant in the room is Cole. It's the biggest problem they have, and I don't know how to fix it.
It's he terrifies me. He scares the shit out of me. I guess they had a day off, day game. I'm like, beautiful. Cole, Castillo, head to head. Let's do it. And then before I even sat down, it was 4-0. I'm like, what? And they gave it 2 more. I'm like, I was just making lunch for the kids. I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
Like, it's not a good, gigantic game, but it's kind of a big game. You're going up against the guy you didn't get. I mean, in the mind of a fan, it's a big game. The guy you didn't get, your current ace, and he embarrassed you.
Yeah, and listen, there's like things I've read on Twitter or something, and this is for like the nerds. It's not. I'm not saying it's not true, but they talk about like spin rate, and they like you need like a degree in calculus to understand this shit, and like it's different, right? Like it's not as good as it was 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here. I can't speak to that. I don't know anything about that. I'll just say this: confidence is shot. Swagger's gone.
Gone.
And we have 2 months now for someone not named Cole to step up. Maybe it's Nestor. Maybe it's Montas. I don't see it being anyone other than that to step up and kind of be the ace and maybe be the game one starter. But in reality, it's probably going to be Cole. It's going to be Cole.
It's going to be Cole. And it's going to be you're going to be like, wow, man, I wish I had Jordan Montgomery to come in to relieve him after he has 4 runs in the first inning.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. He was all right in 2020 in that it was a COVID season, but he was okay in that playoff series against Tampa. But since then, you want to put him in the spider attack. He's just a different guy. And it's just like he went from like this guy who you thought was like this bulldog, this leader, to now you look at him. It's like you see him in plain clothes, and he's just this guy selling insurance.
The way he talks is brutal. Oh. And I guess I watched the press conference at the end, and it's just like not excuses, but like how he's feeling, and it's like the frustration. You're right, and it's like it's miserable listening to him. You're right. What happened to the bulldog? How the guy with some balls to get
gone, man. It's gone,
man. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough, and then the lineup isn't, what we expected the lineup to be, and Carpenter's back and clean up sometimes, and obviously Stanton and Judge is off every other day, and it's like, I know it's the dog days, but it's like they're just going through the motions, and the team bulldog is gone too. Like it's like they in the beginning of the season, I was like, yeah, go out, let's win. It's not just win series, let's sweep series. Yeah. And everybody was all in on it. Like, this is who we are. And I was like, wow, this is the attitude. This is what I wanted from my Yankees teams. And it's gone completely away. Like they are gassed. It feels like they're gassed. I'm not saying they are gassed, but it feels like they're gassed. Feels like they're just going, like I said, going through the motions, trying to get to the end of the season rather than dominate their way to the end of the season. But it's hard to. You can't dominate. Like I said, if you have Carpenter batting fourth, or you have Hicks in there going over 30, Gallo up until a couple of days ago up there taking up space. It's not sustainable to keep to stay that high over 500. You're going to take a dip back towards the pack.
Yeah, and everyone's running with the Mussina comparison. It's not a Cole, which I started months ago.
Wait, say it again. People are starting.
Media people are running with like the Cole comparisons to Mussina, like how he's just a creature of habit.
Oh, please! And I wasn't a big Moose fan, but Moose is a million times better than this guy.
Well, Mussina's first couple years, Mussina blew a lot of. Mussina was very spotty in a big game.
Yeah, no, that's why I didn't love him. He wasn't. But I think today I'm taking.
I think it's the creature of habit and excuses. Is very Moose. Moose was the king of the sun was 48 degrees that way. He always rubbed me the wrong way, and that's what I'm seeing with Cole now.
Fair, okay. I got you.
But that's it. You got 2 months to figure it out. That's it. I don't know what to. You just got to keep playing. Big road trip: Cardinals, Mariners, Red Sox.
Yep.
1 foot in front of the other. Hold off the Blue Jays. Hold off the Astros. That's it. White Sox just went down 3-2. That's the ball game. White Sox are another team. Just And they have a chance to steal the division, but they're just an island of misfit toys, like the Phillies.
Yeah.
It's a collection of
That's-
talent,
oh.
and they just can't get out of their own way. I don't understand.
Great way to put it. Island of Misfit Toys team.
Yeah, I think they may have used that in the Jeter documentary. I might be stealing that. I might be stealing that because that's what, like the Sheffield Yankee. Oh, and Gary Sheffield's still an asshole, for the record, just in case you were wondering. That's a guy who rubs me the wrong way.
I believe it.
He was a talking head just now in the. I don't want to get into exactly what he said because it opens up a can of worms. But do you remember the accusation he made against Tory?
The racial thing?
Yeah, it was like the way he was treated and was different from Kenny Lofton. Him, like Kenny Lofton and Tom Gordon were treated differently than other players. And
Bernie Williams, Derek Jeter, Jorge.
Well,
Posada.
no, he said Jeter was half, so that's different.
Oh, okay.
Jeter, so he's still an asshole, Gary Sheffield. I hit my head on the ceiling the day we traded him. He's just one of those guys, just like a pain in the ass. Like I don't need that. And a great player, but just some guys just.
He won the Triple Crown before, or he was a Triple Crown threat before, never won it, but before he took the roids too.
Yeah, he just he is difficult. It's just difficult. He's like some guys are just difficult. Like David Wells was like that. We won with David Wells. They just live to be difficult.
Yeah,
it's like just fucking shut your mouth and play the game, man. Like look at Jeter, like the best player on the team, man. You just fucking play the game. So that's my rant on Sheffield. Didn't think that was coming. I couldn't stand Sheffield when he was a Yankee. Could not stand him.
Yeah. I mean, I always liked watching him hit. That was about it, though.
Yeah, as long as you're not sitting third baseline.
Yeah, I like to watch him hit in August against Tampa's bullpen or something.
Yeah, it wasn't great in the postseason, but. I don't know. He may have had a good in October for the Marlins. I don't remember.
All right. You said the Island of Misfit Toys. And before we get into Saw, I watched a show called The Rehearsal today. Just one episode of it. It is a bizarre show. And basically, I can't even say basically because it's going to take me 10 minutes to describe it. But what it is, this guy, and I guess every episode is different, so it to kind of expand your mind with the premise. But in this particular episode, this guy, real person, had lied to a friend of his years ago about having a master's degree.
Okay.
And he was like, I've been telling this lie for 12 years. I want to come clean about it. So this show goes to see this guy. They say, okay, here's what we're going to do.
This is like a real life show?
This is like is it not really? I guess it's reality TV. I don't know. It's on HBO. I don't really know how to. I don't know. It's real people.
Okay, so real two people. They're friends. He told his friend for 12 years that he had a master's degree, but he was lying.
Correct.
Okay, got it. Caught up.
Yeah. So he wants to come clean about this, but he's nervous about it. So this show recreates how he's going to do it. They recreate the bar he's going to do. This guy's a joke. There's so much more I could go into with this guy because you're rooting against the guy at some point because he's such a loser. But it's all based around trivia night, and he's like, "Well, I can't let us down on trivia night. We got to do well on trivia too. I want to come clean, but I also would like to win trivia." It's pretty funny. That part is pretty funny, but it's not going to. No, I can't tell you about it now. It's not going to translate.
Well, what's he that? Is he just because the lie has kind of snowballed and it's been so long? It's like,
yeah, I don't know how he got hooked up with the show. It was like a Craigslist ad or something. Mm-hmm. And somehow he ends up doing these meetings with this guy, and he agrees to do this. So they send somebody to interview his friend because she's got a blog. So they want to have somebody interview her to kind of test out and get her personality and stuff and see how she is. They lie to her to have her see how she reacts to a lie, just to kind of see. So I don't even know if they even told her all this shit. But then he would go in. They recreated the bar like to a T that they're going to do trivia night in. They went in and they did like trial runs. Here's what you say if she says this. Here's what you're going to say if she says this. Bizarre. And then he goes and does the confession, and like it worked out fine, whatever. So the best part is it's bizarre. The best part
to his friend.
Yeah, so he actually does the confession to the friend eventually. See how it would work out. So like basically it's a rehearsal. Like he's just trying it out. The best part was it was all based around this trivia night. I got to tell you now because this is the best part. It's just a bizarre premise of the show, but he was really freaked out about trivia night being ruined. So they would like spend days together. The host of the show somehow got the answers to that night's trivia. He interviewed the trivia guy and was like, "Oh, we want people to play along at home." So he's like, "All right, I'll record the questions before the show so you can have the questions so you can relay them to people at home."
Yeah.
But that's how they got the questions. And then during their walks, he had it set up so like these weird things would happen to let him to give that guy the answer. So like one day there was a code. And he was like, "Oh, the code here is 1749. It's like French Revolution, like matter of factly.
Yeah.
One time there was a cop on the side of the road and he was like, "What's going on here?" And the cop's like, "Oh, this guy's got a hostage in there. He shot somebody in the head. It's days like today, I curse out the Chinese for creating gunpowder, like very bizarre things."
Yeah.
So at the end of the show, he comes clean to the friend. It all works out. The friend's very cool about it. Another dork friend, very cool about it.
Yeah.
And because who gives a shit you lie about your masters? Nobody gives a fucking shit about it.
That's the weirdest part about the show. It's like, it's not like, "Oh, I banged your wife when you were out of town."
Yeah, it's much different. Yep. And he's like, "Oh, I needed to tell you something. I planted these seeds. I didn't want you to cheat because I take it very seriously. I planted these seeds." And the guy's mood changed completely. He's like, "You took a nice thing and you fucked it all up." He got so pissed at the cheating or like the planting. He's like, "I knew the answers. You had to do that." He got so pissed. I got lost. To me, it was worth the payoff because it was, like I said, the whole time I'm like, "What is this? Like, what am I watching?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here? Where's the payoff here?" And then at the end, that happened, and I was so happy. Like, you just did the same shit to that girl, your friend. You did this test run, this trial run with her. Like, you were rehearsing for weeks, and like you're mad at this guy for setting these seeds because it's fucking trivia night. It was bizarre, man. It was bizarre. And trust me, if you saw this, you'd be rooting against the guy too.
Yeah, no, I am. I'm already rooting against him. Confidently say that.
Yeah, so that's what I watched today.
Right.
Saul.
Yes.
Better Call Saul. Better Call Gene. 2 weeks in a row, we got mostly Gene. They did a little Godfather too.
Yes, they did. I think it's Gene from here on out for the most part. It's like 80-90% Gene.
Well, I know I read this someplace that there are 2 more scenes with Jesse and Walt.
Right.
They filmed 1 more scene solo each with him, apparently.
Right, and those are going to probably be scenes that are like little holy shit. It's gonna put a few pieces together for how the chain of events kind of happened in the Breaking Bad world.
What do you think of this cameo here? This use of this cameo?
I thought it was well done. It came off better than I anticipated. If you had told me that they were going to do what they did, they were going to recreate the RV scene, I probably would have thought. I probably been a little nervous about it, but I think they pulled it off.
They nailed it.
Yeah.
Didn't care at all about the Pinkman being 50 years old, playing a 19-year-old. That didn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
But people wanted that. I don't know why people get upset that they don't look the same age. What was he going to do? Meet him in fucking Alaska or something? Like, I don't understand. Walt's dead. Pinkman's in hiding. Like, what do you want to do?
Yeah. I mean, they did what they had to do.
Yeah, I thought it was excellent use of the cameo. The payoff was when he's like, "Who's Lalo?" Like, that was the payoff. Bringing everything together, and like you could feel like the chill in Saul when he asked that. That was great. Really well done. Yeah, more. I think. Do you think we hear the Kim conversation on the payphone? He calls Kim. He flips out.
I don't know. Do we see Kim?
I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like they're gonna bring her out of the bullpen, and it may just be for one batter, but they're gonna use her some way.
Devastatingly, I'm sure.
Probably, yeah. Oh yeah, it's not gonna be good for anybody.
Yeah. What do you think the conversation was on the phone? I mean, they hadn't talked. Well, wait a second. We're assuming, we don't know if Saul talked to Kim at all between the breakup and Cinnabon. We have no idea.
Did he necessarily talk to Kim on the phone?
No, not at all. Nope.
That's another thing. I mean,
No.
Who knows what or who he talked to? I don't know. I don't know exactly if we're going to revisit that phone call or not. I actually think the first flashback to start the episode with inside the RV.
Yep.
I thought that was good. I actually thought it was even better that they recreated the scene of Saul going into the high school. Because I just watched that Breaking Bad episode over the weekend. It all up,
yeah. Yep.
Because if you really think about it, right, we were talking actually last week about this, I think, or 2 weeks ago, and we were talking about, are they going to lay out for us exactly how, Walter gets linked up with Saul and how Walter ends up with Gus and how it all putting the pieces together, right? A big puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
If you really think about it, Saul is responsible for the chain of events that take place in Breaking Bad after that point. He hooks up he hooks up Walt with Gus, and then it's a shit show.
Despite Mike's, concerns.
Mike warned him. He's an amateur. Saul got greedy. And then it was at the end of the episode, it was, the parallels between Saul walking into the school and Gene breaking into the house. It was, Gene's Breaking Bad. He's just repeating history, and he's, he's playing with fire. And this time you assume that he's going to get burned as Gene Takovic.
Yeah. Yeah. I had to go back and watch that scene like immediately after the show. I just went to YouTube and threw it on.
Oh,
I remembered it, but just kind of, I was like, I have to see it, just like to put it all in order, put it all in context.
Yeah, I've watched it. I've watched it many times, even before the episode, because I wanted to know exactly. I mean, I went back and watched the episode because I wanted to know exactly. It's just not a show I really rewatched. I wanted to know exactly how Saul entered the picture and how. Yeah. And they basically answered it for you in this episode. They laid it out for you. So
yeah,
that was cool. What else?
To run another scam.
Buzz McAllister.
That was incredible. That was incredible when they.
You ever see somebody on screen and you're like, "That's somebody"? That's what I did.
Oh yeah, I knew who it was. In this case, but I know exactly the feeling that you had. Oh yeah.
You're like, oh, that's somebody. You're like, is that Buzz?
Buzz's girlfriend. Whoa.
Yeah, he's running another scam, another typical. He just can't. The funniest thing is, like, he hasn't been. It feels like he's been in Omaha forever because the show's been on the air since 2015. I don't even remember when. 16, 15, 14. He's only been there in 6 months, real time. Like, he just couldn't. He just couldn't live the normal 9 to 5 Cinnabon lifestyle, man. He needs some action. The guy cannot help himself.
Well, whatever happened on that phone call definitely spurred him to go back, because he might have scratched the itch enough for the time being. After the initial scam, the thing he did with Macy's, or whatever.
Yeah.
But with that, whatever happened in that call, set him off. He's like, doesn't matter anymore. I'm going all in. Going back to my roots.
I mean, is he just have like a death wish at this point? Like, he just wants to get caught?
I don't know.
Pushing the envelope? Does he have like a God complex where he can't be caught? Or like what?
It might just be in a zero fucks given time of his life. I mean, he's in hiding under an assumed name, working at Cinnabon.
Yeah.
He's been to the highs. He's got nobody, right? I mean, he's got no family, no kids. His brother's dead. You know, that was that scene when he was kind of coming clean to distract the security guard.
Right.
Like when he mentioned his brother, he did kind of get choked up a little bit. So he might hold something in there.
He was working him, but he was also, there was a little bit of truth and reality into that pitch also.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is Carol Burnett, is she a little sharper than we think? I feel like I don't think you bring Carol Burnett in unless she's going to have a little bit of a bigger role here. She's going to do something. Something's up. Something's just up with her.
She was spying at the end there. It's probably her because she's Carol Burnett, but also there's a possibility that guy that he kicked out called the head. He knew what the mark was. He knew where the house was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, although I forget where I read it, Carol Burnett now has the internet.
Yes.
And, Albuquerque, maybe there's connection there. She makes some kind of connection. I don't know.
True. That would, yeah. Yeah, that could be a possibility also. But it's 85, 90% Gene going forward. And with some flashbacks to the Breaking Bad timeline. Like the Jimmy timeline's dead.
Yeah.
The Saul timeline is basically like anything pre Walter and Jesse. I don't think they go there anymore unless it's very quick.
No, I don't think they need to. Yeah, you're right. I think that's gone.
It's dead.
We see the inciting action why Saul became Saul all in.
Mm-hmm.
I had mentioned at some point, which is why I'm not a TV writer, I guess. I mentioned at some point, like, oh, what do we see, like Saul making the commercials? Like, because they did a bunch of that early on in the seasons, where they would have the film crew come out and make the commercials. But no, we don't need to do that again. We saw the seeds planted. We don't need to see him do it again. There's probably not much that needs to be filled in outside of these little whatever. I would have had in my mind, in my imagination. I don't think I would have been like, yeah, they need to have a mention of Lalo in the car. Like, that was perfect.
Yeah,
that was perfect to me. That was a perfect reason to bring them back. A perfect way to use them. So I don't know exactly. I just at this point I'm just trusting these writers to figure it out, because it's been incredible to see how they've meshed all this together. It is funny to me how I had read some places that some people were complaining about the episode 2 episodes ago being a complete waste of time, being the worst episode ever, and then we got another Gene episode.
Well, I think you're an idiot then, because it's all Gene from here on out. Like, this is it. Mm-hmm. What did you think? What did you think? We're going to go back to 2005 5, an entire episode watching Saul defend public masturbators.
Well, maybe.
I mean, it was on the table, but like this is it now. We're in this timeline now. This is
That's the next spinoff, I guess. Is the between Kim and Walt, that dash between Kim and Walt.
the lost years. The lost years.
But yeah, I don't think it'd be any fun. I don't think it'd be any interesting. I don't think it'd be interesting at all.
Yeah. And we're done. I mean, we're done with like Gus. Well, maybe we see something like Gus's. I don't know, Gus and Walt. I mean, we saw when Gus and Walt met in Breaking Bad, but I guess they could technically bring back Gus, or they brought back Mike last week for the flashback.
Yeah, needed flashback. Yep.
But it'll be quick if they do.
Yeah,
it'll be quick. I think it's just gonna be mostly Gene now. We're gonna see what happens to Gene, and there'll be, so a little bit of flashback, flashback to the Breaking Bad timeline. That's where we're at. 2 episodes.
2 episodes left. I don't think they need to do this. And we haven't heard any rumors about it. Do you think there's a flashback with Chuck McGill at some point? I don't think. I feel like I don't remember every Chuck McGill thing. I don't know if there's anything we need to fill in with Chuck, but I wonder if they bring him back for a cameo.
I mean, it's possible. The way they're jumping around, they could do something quick with Chuck. It's possible. I wouldn't count on it, but
no, I'm just looking at the deck and trying to see what cards they might play.
Yeah, how many guys can you? Yeah, it's probably. I mean, it's on the table. On the table. Other than that, I don't know what they're gonna do. Like, I obviously has to end bad for Gene. You would think.
It says, did you see? I know sometimes you don't see like the next on. Did you see the next on? You saw it this time?
No, I didn't.
It was just police car, black and white, cops walking up.
Huh. That could be anything.
No, I know. Cops all the time.
Cops have they still haven't caught Heisenberg. Yeah, so I mean, you can't even predict where the show's going. There's no way to. It's impossible.
No, I think we knew that going into this week. It's everything's on the table, and they've kind of threw us all for a loop. Wrapping up Jimmy as quickly as they did, but I had to wrap up at some point, and how they did it was masterful. And here we are.
That's it.
Two to go.
2 to go.
All right. What else is going on?
There's people mad that Browns fans were asking for Deshaun Watson's autograph.
Come on. Autograph? Yeah, the Deshaun thing is a mess.
I don't know how you can get mad. Like, what do you want fans to do? Boo them? You want fans to have integrity? Like, we don't have integrity as sports fans. There's no such thing.
The Browns. How the Browns fans have any integrity? They haven't done anything worthwhile in generations.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, it was probably like 2 people online complaining, but I happened to see it. It was like shameful. Shameful behavior by the Browns fans. It's like, hey, I mean, that could be worth money if he goes to prison. He's not going to, but
yes.
It's like, I got Deshaun Watson's autograph in preseason before he never played a snap for the Browns ever.
What's been going on, man? I've been on vacation, so I don't know. I've been kind of tuned out. What else is going
on? What's been going on? I mean, it's August. This is it. I mean, although I will say, we call August the February of summer months. It's on a different. They're still in two different stratospheres because my August is completely booked up.
Yeah, that's
Whereas
true.
February is just wide open usually. August is just a gauntlet. You know what I mean? You got to do. It's like it's like your own little training camp to get to football season. I got something every weekend. It's just whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
We'd mentioned Vin Scully before.
Oh, Vin, yep.
Tough one. I mean, he's 90-something years old, but impossible to imagine anybody ever being as good as that guy.
Nah, he was incredible.
He was
the flow he had when he called the game and his ability to tell stories and call the game. It's just like seamless.
If he was on if he was within listening distance, we missed like the national stuff he did for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But if he was anywhere within listening distance, like if you had access to Sirius or XM, or no, not Sirius or XM, if you had access to the wait a second, he was on TV, not the radio. So if you had access, was he in the radio?
No, he did radio. He did.
Yeah, because people would listen people would listen at the stadium with him on the radio.
He called Dwight Clark's catch in San Fran.
Yep, he did some football.
Did a little football.
Mm-hmm.
He was full-time Dodgers announcer by 25, which is unheard of. 1953. Called Larson's perfect game in the World Series.
Yep.
Kirk Gibson.
Yep.
Home run. I mean, just like generations. He was there for the ride. He wasn't there for the Dodgers fake championship, I believe.
No, I boycotted that.
Yeah. I mean, he was on TV anyway. He wouldn't have had the call anyways because it would have been Fox, but I think it was 2017 was his last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there's just one of those guys like unanimously, if you ask anybody, he's just the best.
Yep.
So yeah, it's just how old was he? 95, 4?
94, I think.
Yeah, so he worked like until he was almost 90. So I mean, that's a run.
Yep.
That is a run. That's over 60 years that guy worked.
The thing with him is, like, everything he said was so, like, it was perfect. It wasn't conversational. It wasn't an announcer voice either.
No,
it was just perfect. It was eloquent. It was well said.
This is the flow.
Exactly. Yeah. 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 Never. It's truly not going to be ever one like that again. I mean, we're not going to live through times like that either, where it's not going to be like the golden age of whatever, and it's not going to have the same poetry to it no matter what, because now it's all business and it's not, the national pastime. It's not the same romanticism. He comes from a much different era of sports.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're not getting that again.
No, and nothing like him.
Nothing even close.
Yeah,
not in the Bronx at least.
Sure. No, that goes without saying. It goes without saying.
Yeah,
but even like the guys who are really good now, it's like not Vin.
No, and he would do it by himself. No color guy.
Yeah, which is amazing. That was great. It really is. It really was a treat to listen to when you had the chance.
Yeah, and that's difficult when you really think about it. Nobody to play off, and he's just sitting there for hours. Baseball could be so long and tedious. These 4-hour games with so much downtime, pitching changes. Mm-hmm. Injury. It's just like. To be able to fill time like that, that's a pro. I don't know how many people that could do that.
I had stories going back, forever. That's
yeah, a story for everything.
Yeah. So whatever he'd experienced it all. So it wasn't like he was going to have a lack of content to use.
No, and it felt like everything was very calculated that he said. That goes along with like the flow and just everything being seamless. It was just very precise the way he talked.
Yeah.
Very precise.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was with everything. I don't think it was just calling a game. I think that's just how he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got nothing. I'm looking through like headlines. There's nothing interesting going on.
Where did you stand on like the way Joey Gallo left? Did you see the interviews he did like a week before he left?
No. No, I didn't.
So he did an interview, and I remember this coming out about a week ago, and I don't know who it was with. I didn't look into it, but the way he was talking to the reporter was just he was already gone. He was talking like it didn't work out here, and every time I see a Yankee hat or Yankee, I'm gonna have to think about how I let this team down. I'm paraphrasing. I don't know exactly what he said. Like every time I see a Yankee hat or Yankee cap, I'm gonna have to think about that. I don't have to wear that. You know what I mean? On my shoulders. That's when he's still on the team. He was in the lineup a couple times after he said that.
Jesus.
And
he's a head case.
Right. So there's people who have come out and like and then there was another part of the interview where the interviewer asked him, it was like, what do you do the fans, the fans boo you or whatnot, but like, do the fans let you have it? Like when you leave your apartment and you're walking, he's like, I don't leave the apartment.
Jesus, Joey.
And it's like that. And I think the reporter said like, oh, that's sad. But I've seen both camps kind of come out, and like Michael Kay kind of, I don't want to say he hammered Gallo on the way out, but he's kind of like, anybody who's like feeling bad for Joey Gallo needs to know, like he came here and he was, statistically one of the worst Yankees ever, and he got paid obviously, so the fans, basically lay off the fans. The fans aren't going to boo you if you're somebody. And then I've seen the other camp.
Well, he's nobody.
Yeah. And I've seen the other camp come out and be like, "Oh, we need to do better as fans," and like you gotta sometimes fans are taking it too far. And my response to that was, the guy said he didn't leave his apartment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, were he camped outside the apartment throwing eggs at him?
Yeah, exactly. No one was firing batteries at him. No one was. No one was like physically or mentally or, verbally assaulting him in the streets, which is obviously over the line. Mm-hmm. This just sounds like a guy who he's just not a New York guy. Can't handle New York.
No, he could not.
So I felt like somewhere in the middle because I didn't really want to necessarily be on Michael Kay's side either. Mm-hmm. I don't know why Kay felt the need to like hammer him on the way out the door. Because when I heard those comments, and it was at least a week ago. It was at least a week before the trade deadline. I found it so odd when those got released. I was like, all right. I'm just like, if I was at a game, right, I'm not a big booer. I'll boo. I think you should definitely boo. I'm not like one of these anti-booers.
Pro booer, yeah.
Yeah, I could boo a guy. I'm not a huge booer, but I'll boo. Like I was at the point with Gallo when I heard those comments, I was just like, all right, this is like, he's on his way out the door. Let's not kick him when he's down. He's going to strike out, but let's just pretend like we didn't see it. He's only got like a week left. Like, let's lay off of him. But I do understand, like, I mean, it's not like the fans were booing him on the way up to the plate.
I gave him a shot.
Yeah.
That's like the fallacy of the three true outcomes.
Yeah.
I mean, if a strikeout walk, if one of them's a walk, which is not exciting and not always helpful, and if one of them is a strikeout, and the only one that seems like a contributing to the team is a home run, there's only so many well-timed walks that are going to make me excited. It really puts a lot of pressure on the player to hit those home runs. And by hitting the home runs, you're just walking and striking out. You're useless.
Oh yeah, he was as useless a Yankee in my lifetime. That is for sure. I've seen some bad ones. But he was the worst.
Wow. Yeah, it's saying something.
He was at least given the longest leash of the bad ones. I'll say that.
It's seriously long. Yeah, way too long. Yeah, it was probably just hoping he came around and we get something more than whoever the fuck we got from the Dodgers. But
yeah, it did get to a point like when he left. I think the fan posted something on their Twitter page. That was so embarrassing. It was like a thank you, Joey, or something. It got to a point where, and then Boone was like, "Oh, I'll be rooting for him" or something. It's like, when do we just like? He's a grown man. It didn't work out. We don't need to pretend like. We don't need to pretend like, it's little league. It's the big leagues. Didn't work out. You're gone.
Yeah, Aaron Boots is thank you to Joey Gallo. Boone's the worst.
I don't know. Yeah, it's very bizarre. It's almost like this guy might have. Does he have bigger mental issues than we think? And so we have to have kid gloves because that is a real thing. But the other part of me is like, we're just pussies as a society.
Yeah, I mean, he also hit like 130. So it's, I mean, mental issues aside.
You know how hard it is to hit 159 in August as an everyday player? Almost impossible. It really, almost impossible.
He found a way. Yeah. He's got much bigger hitting issues than he does mental issues, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. It wasn't like Chuck Knobloch forgetting how to throw the ball at second base. Like he was always gonna strike out. It just it got he didn't do well when it was under a microscope. Bright lights were not for Joey.
No, Jesus, no. Yeah, but I'm sure in quiet Los Angeles things will work out a little better for him. So to echo Aaron Boone, good luck.
Well, the key is to give them at bats in like the first couple innings or the last couple when they're, leaving or not there yet, haven't arrived yet.
How are they going to use him though?
I don't know. I do not know.
There's Bellinger and obviously Mookie.
Well, Bellinger, I mean,
Bellinger's not very good.
Bellinger has not been very good, and he is fast. You could use him as a pinch runner.
Good fielder, like we said.
Could field, so I don't know. Mookie, Bellinger, and I don't know who their left fielder is. So you could use him as a replacement. I mean, he's definitely a fourth outfielder. He's not. I don't think he's starting on the Dodgers. That would be crazy.
No, God. Oh, he started tonight.
Oh, he did. Oh, yeah, I did see that. Yeah, did he do anything?
What did he do? Well, let me see. Hang on. I got the
Joey Gallo's Dodger debut.
5 for 5. 2 home runs.
I'm gonna say you're lying.
I am. He's 1 for 4, 2 strikeouts, 2 left on base.
Okay.
So
it's an improvement.
It was not a home run. So, all right. Yeah, Gal got in there. Give him a shot.
Yeah. That's he's hitting 250 as a Dodger. He's hitting 100 points higher.
Fucking Dodgers, man. That's where all the problems go away.
I guess so. Ridiculous. Oh, by the way, the Dodgers, I should have mentioned this when we were doing the trade thing. Craig Kimbrell at the end of games.
Yeah.
That could be a problem. That could be their downfall.
Well, historically, what's his name is not very good at managing his pens. The pitching staff is Dave Roberts' downfall. So it'll be fun to watch him navigate with shaky guys at the back end.
Yeah. I think if the Mets get them in a 7-game series, I think the Mets might beat them. I think I would pick the Mets, actually.
Mets bullpen will be fun in the playoffs too, though.
Yeah, Adam Ottavino, Seth Lugo. I'm sure there's a couple guys in there that I'm missing. Joely Rodriguez, who probably won't be on the roster, but I'll have a couple.
Oh. Luja, you back?
All right, I'm back. The Hall of Fame game just went final. Raiders 27, Jaguars 11. Doug Peterson, a loser in his Jaguars debut.
But first of many.
Might be one of my sleeper teams.
Oh boy, little preview.
Yeah, maybe.
Preview Thursday night game. There you go.
I've already started thinking about like who I like, and it's probably not going to change now.
You could probably change that one.
Well, we'll see. I'm still in on Trevor Lawrence.
That's fair. I could see Trevor making some noise. I'm not sure this is the year. What do the Jags have? They got Christian Kirk.
Is that who they got?
Yeah, right from Cardinals.
Who'd they draft? They had to have a high pick, right? Who'd they draft?
I'm not sure. Probably should know that.
They really, yeah. I mean, oh, they have the number 1 pick. Was it the defensive end? Defensive end out of Georgia, Alabama?
Yeah, Trayvon Walker, yeah. Yep.
All right. The next Reggie White. So they got that. Trayvon Walker out of Georgia. Other than that, I don't know. Doug Peterson, Super Bowl winning coach.
Yep.
Yeah. Shitty division. Houston Texans. Texans twice.
Talking me into it. They'll split with Houston.
They play the Colts tough. People like the Colts. I don't get it. I don't see it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's a good idea to go in on the Colts. I think I've made that mistake a couple times.
Oh, you're not going to do it this year.
Hopefully.
I mean, just remember who their quarterback is.
It's not Phillip Rivers. It's not Carson Wentz.
No.
It's not Jacoby Brissett.
Once it hits you, that'll assure you that you're not going to go near the Colts, even though they're probably the best team in the division. But
Andrew Luck's not coming back. Oh no, it's not Matt Ryan, is it?
Oh yeah, Matty Ice.
I've made that mistake enough times too. So no,
I've seen their over under as high as 10. I mean, bad division, but no, I'd say no. It's now or never for Matty.
Never
sounds like a better bet.
All right. Well, as we get into football, maybe time to wrap it up.
Yep. It's a little tease. They call it tease in the business.
Yeah. Come join us next month.
Well, AFC South preview.
There you go.
That might be. We might just never talk about the AFC South during the preview. That was it. If you have to, you're gonna have to come back to the August 4th episode to hear about the AFC South.
Yeah, mark it down. August 4th. Yeah, you heard it here. By the way, I don't know who I'd rather take, Jacoby Brissett or Carson Wentz or Phillip Rivers or Matt Ryan right now. I'm not sure who I'd rather take.
Oh, Brissett's the starter in Cleveland, I think.
I know. 6 games. All right. Well, good shit, Annie. I'll talk to you next week.
All right.
Thanks for listening, everybody. And we'll see you back here on YouTube a week from today.
Yes. Catch you later. Peace.